All right, so welcome back to the Real World Garage, and we are about to get back on this, the 1964 Mercury Comet. So let's take a quick walk around and reacquaint you with the old girl. All right, so this is my 1964 Mercury Comet. Let's take a quick walk around and in review, and we'll talk about a couple things and what's coming up and what we're going to be doing. All right, so just yesterday and today, I went ahead and gave it a bath. It had been pushed back about the car length from where it is now, and it sat underneath that oak tree. Well, everybody knows what sitting under an oak tree will do. It had the black crud all over it, and it's still on it in a few places, but we went ahead and gave it a bath and got most of that off, and you can actually still see a little bit of shine left on that red paint. There you go. Right there, you can still see some of that black crud. I didn't get too carried away on the deck lid because I have another deck lid over there that's in slightly better condition. So let's come back up front. We'll talk about the hood. We are going to leave this car in basically in patina. I have already started working on this hood just to see how I thought it was how I would like it and how it's gonna come out. And basically just rubbing it down with a Scotch-Brite. And I think we are going to leave the hood just as it is and either spray clear coat on it, or we are going to use some sweet patina sauce that they like to put on them to help bring the shine back. I think most of this red will buff out, and so we'll just go with that, go with however it turns out. Yes, there are some rough spots and some rough spots, but we don't care. That's not the kind of build we're doing here. I do have another windshield for this car. It's in there on the inside on the wall, stored away. And we have the quarter panel repair panels. We have the we have some used quarter panels that we're going to try to weld in place on this car. And let's go inside and look at what we've got left to do in here. If you remember correctly, we adapted some 67 Ford Mustang panels for floor pans on both sides. It's kind of messy in here right now, guys, so just bear with me. I've got to get it cleaned back out again, and it was used for storage for a little while. We just, like I said, got it pulled back up on the concrete. We have some rusty floor pan right there we're gonna have to deal with. And I'm not cutting it out and I'm not replacing it. We're gonna patch over it and patch around it and put some sauce and some goo, some rust preventative Pour 15 paint and some fiberglass, and we're gonna call it a day. You can see a patch panel I put in right there and was able to get back to some good metal and get it welded in. And well, it's gonna be fine. Right here, you can see this this seatbelt anchor right there. There's not much left anchoring that to the car. So that's what that piece of angle iron right there is for. We're going to be taking a piece of angle iron. We're going to be attaching it right here to the inner rocker panel, and we're going to be using some bolts and nuts and some washers, and I think you're going to be interested in knowing how I do that. Again, it's thinking outside the box to come up with a way to repair something and make it sure that it is solid. So the floor pans are all done, all except the behind the driver's side rear. We've got to finish it up, and inside that box there is my transmission for this car, for the C4. It is in that box. staying dry and protected. It's supposed to be a good used transmission, but since I have never driven this vehicle with this transmission, I don't know if it's any good or not. So I am going to get a guy I know that builds transmissions to go through it. That way I won't have to worry about whether or not it's a good transmission or not. It'll be rebuilt. So it's important to know that, you know, you're spending all this money on this engine that I have already rebuilt, still sitting inside on the engine stand. It's gonna be good to know that the transmission's good too. So, all right, let's take a walk back here to the back of the car, and I want to show you what's inside the trunk. I have all the trim and all the pieces, so let's get a look here. All right, so I opened up the trunk to kind of go through and make sure of what I had. I knew it's all back here, but I just kind of wanted to get in here and look around. Of course, I've got the grill, the headlight bezels, the headlight buckets, and in this box, got a lot of the trim pieces and emblems, the 260 with the hypo name tag on them. I got the trunk emblem. As far as I know, I have every piece of decal and nameplate for this car. When I went through it, when I originally bought it, everything was still there. And I went back through this box again, and there's some where it spells Comet along the sides of the car. Speaking of Comet, hey Comet, there is the car's namesake right there. What are you doing, buddy? You just stop by, say hi. Just came in for a snack. Well, anyway, as I was saying, I went through. There are some letters down the side of the car on the back. Each quarter, I did account for all of the letters, and we do have all of them. Just wanted to get reacquainted with this car again, because we're fixing to try to go headlong in this fall and winter and see if we can't get this car put back together and driving at least by spring. So pray for good weather for the winter, pray for good weather in the fall, and maybe we can get this thing back together. All right, so if this is your first time coming by the Real World Garage, welcome. There's several other videos on this car and on many other cars that I have worked on the Real World Garage channel. So just go on out there and give her a look-see. So until I can get out another video, why don't you go watch another one coming on screen right now.